Bluey may be a fun and engaging kids show, but it's also one of the most emotionally profound animated series out there, skillfully addressing deep topics like the loss of loved ones. But can you remember all the characters who have passed away in the series? One of the most significant losses in Bluey is Chili's mother, the maternal grandmother of the main character. The confirmation that she had passed away came in one of the most emotional moments of the third season, in the episode Dragon, which appears towards the end of the season. By this point, we had already been introduced to several older family members, like the grandfathers Mort and Bob, and Grandma Nana, but we had never seen Chili's mother before. And in this episode, we finally understand why. Throughout the story, Chili shares with her daughters that her mother was a big supporter of her art, always encouraging her to keep drawing. In a deeply touching moment, the camera focuses on an illustration Chili made of her, showing how vividly her mother's memory remains in her heart. Additionally, the enlarged family photo hanging in the entryway of the Healer house gives us a clearer look at what Bluey and Bingo's grandmother looked like. And at the end of the episode, we see Chili saying goodbye to the horse she drew, which then transforms into a winged Pegasus and flies into the sky. This scene wasn't just placed there randomly. It symbolizes Chili's connection with her late mother and also the importance of moving forward while still keeping her memory alive in her heart. Even though the show never explicitly revealed the cause of her passing, many fans speculate that it could have been a serious illness, possibly cancer. This theory comes from the interpretation that the title Dragon might be a reference to the disease, which tragically claims many lives in the real world. Who knows, maybe in season 4, we'll get a flashback showing whether Bandit ever got the chance to meet his mother-in-law before she passed away. Now, let's take a look at other characters who have sadly left us, or will soon, in Bluey. Stay with us, because another world of Bluey is just getting started. Now, one of the most impactful moments in the entire Bluey series involves a character who never even appeared on screen, the first baby of the Healer family. If you've been paying close attention to the series, you might remember the episode The Show, which features one of the most emotional scenes ever created in the show. In this story, Bluey and Bingo put on a play as a Mother's Day gift for Chili, and during this scene, in a subtle but incredibly moving way, we discover that the girl's mother had a miscarriage in the past. When the balloon bursts on little Bingo's belly and Bandit holds Chili's hand, it becomes clear to the audience that this represents the loss of a baby who never got the chance to be born. This episode aired during the second season, and the way the topic was handled left everyone deeply moved. But the show's creators decided to revisit the theme in an even more subtle and symbolic way in the third season. This time, it happened in the episode Rain, where Bluey and her mom are shown hugging while looking at a breathtaking rainbow in the sky. If you've ever heard the term rainbow baby, you'll immediately understand the depth of this scene. This term is used to describe children who are born after their parents have experienced the loss of a child. In other words, Bluey is the true rainbow baby of the Healer family. This detail confirms, beyond any doubt, that the little blue pup had an older sibling who passed away before she was born. And the most incredible part? This story is directly connected to real life. In reality, the blue Healer and red Healer dog breeds actually have a history of struggling with fertility issues. So this reference in the show might have been inspired by the biological characteristics of these breeds. But hold on, this isn't the only heartbreaking story in Bluey that involves the loss of a character. Stay with us as we go over other memorable cases that have left a lasting mark on the series. The parakeet story isn't the only one in the show that involves pets who are no longer with us. Another particularly emotional moment happens in the episode The Sign, when Bluey's classmates unintentionally end up competing over who has the saddest story. At that moment, Pretzel, the little chihuahua who often plays alone, shares that his pet, a guinea pig, disappeared one day and never came back. As he's telling his story, Rusty immediately makes an unsettling comment: it was probably eaten by a snake. And the scariest part? That theory actually makes a lot of sense. After all, they live in Australia, home to around 120 different snake species. Among them, some are known to prey on small rodents and mammals, making Rusty's theory seem even more plausible. On top of that, at the beginning of the scene, Bluey asks their teacher, Calypso, why all the stories she tells have happy endings. And the teacher's response is simple and direct: life has lots of sad endings. With this line, the show subtly suggests that Pretzel's poor guinea pig likely didn't have a happy fate. It probably ended up in the guinea pig afterlife, if such a place even exists. Poor Pretzel. If you also felt bad for Bluey's little friend, leave a comment below saying pet. Long before the second and third seasons, which contained several episodes exploring deeper themes, Bluey had already tackled a delicate topic in its very first season, death. This subject comes up in the episode Copycat, where Bluey starts mimicking everything Bandit does, right from the beginning of the story. The game continues as usual until, suddenly, in the middle of the imitation, Bluey notices a small parakeet lying near the base of a tree. Bandit immediately picks up the bird, and together with Bluey, rushes to the nearest veterinary clinic, hoping that it can still be saved. When they arrive, the clinic staff quickly attends to the little bird, giving it the urgent care it needs. However, after a while, one of the staff members delivers the heartbreaking news to Bluey and her dad. Unfortunately, the parakeet didn't survive its injuries. When they first arrive at the clinic, Bandit even suggests that a cat might have been responsible for what happened. But the episode never actually confirms the real cause of the bird's death. All of this leaves Bluey extremely shaken. This is the first time the little pup has had to deal with something so sad and complex. Not knowing exactly how to process it, she seeks comfort by playing veterinarian with Bingo. During this playtime, Bluey learns an important lesson. No matter how hard we try, we can't always prevent bad things from happening. Just like Grandpa Mort, Grandma Nana is one of the oldest characters in Bluey, which means, unfortunately, her time will also come. After all, the cycle of life is unavoidable, and the series has already shown that it doesn't shy away from exploring deeper themes. Most likely, when Bluey and her pup visit her childhood home in the future, Grandma Nana has already passed away. This means that over the years, Chili has become the new grandmother of the family, stepping into an important role alongside the next generation. After all, by that time, she already has at least one grandpup, doesn't she? Now, let's talk about Grandpa Mort. If you're thinking, but why? He's still alive. Then hold on for this thought. Yes, Chili's dad is still strong and full of energy. We even see him having a blast dancing at Frisky and Radley's wedding. Look at him, all excited. And at the beginning of the episode, Granddad, there he is, determined, trying to pull out a tree stump all by himself. That's quite an achievement, considering that in the episode Stumpfest, it took 3 characters, Bandit, Stripe, and Pat, to complete the same task together. So, for an elderly dog, he's doing pretty well, right? Well, that's exactly the point. As Granddad unfolds, the show gives us several clues that Mort might be in his final years, or even his last months of life. In the scene where he's with the girls in the swamp, we notice that he gets tired very quickly, something that suggests his strength isn't what it used to be. But the moment that really hits emotionally is when he and Chili reminisce about their happy times together, especially at the lake where they spent so many great days. The entire scene is wrapped in a nostalgic and bittersweet tone, almost as if, by reliving these memories, Mort will be at peace when his time comes. Of course, sadly, that time will come. And when we see Bluey in the future, whether as a teenager or already an adult, it's highly likely that Grandpa Mort has already passed. There's no doubt that Chili and the girls will have dealt with this loss in the best way possible, but the longing for him will always remain. And if you're just as excited to see more of Bluey's future and her friends, make sure to subscribe to this channel right now by clicking the button below. Unlike other grandparents in the series, Grandpa Bob's case is a bit more mysterious and filled with unanswered questions. Bandit's father made a brief appearance in the episode Grannies and then suddenly disappeared from the story without any explanation. For a long time, the most widely accepted theory was that the Healer family patriarch had passed away. But the family chose not to tell Bluey and Bingo the truth to spare them from experiencing such a painful loss too early in life. However, to everyone's surprise, Grandpa Bob made an unexpected comeback at his eldest son's wedding, revealing that he had actually spent a long period in India, rediscovering himself and embracing new experiences. Many believe that this long absence might have been motivated by deep self-reflection about his own time in life. As we grow older, it's natural to want to explore new possibilities before it's too late. But one thing is certain, sooner or later, Bluey will make it clear that Bob is no longer around, whether through a future scene or a flashback showing his farewell. Now, let's talk about a case that falls much more into the realm of fan theories rather than something confirmed within the show. As every Bluey fan has noticed, one of the most mysterious characters in the series is, without a doubt, Judo's father. At no point is he mentioned, nor is there any photo of him in the home of Wendy and Judo, the Healer family's neighbors. What's even more curious is that Bluey occasionally mentions that Judo is traveling, which raises the question of whether she spends time with her father's family. But here's where the speculation comes in. Does that really happen? Or are her trips not to see her father but rather to visit other relatives? A popular theory suggests that Wendy isn't a single mom due to separation, but because she was widowed. If that's the case, it would make sense for her to have moved from Britain to Australia, seeking a fresh start in a place where memories of her husband wouldn't be as overwhelming. Losing a loved one is never easy, and perhaps Wendy felt that Brisbane was a warmer, more welcoming place to raise Judo, away from sadness and closer to new opportunities. Additionally, it's possible that she receives a pension due to her husband's passing, which would allow her to have more financial flexibility when choosing where to live and how to provide the best life for her daughter. Of course, all of this is just speculation, but we have to admit, it's a pretty convincing theory, don't you think? Check out these videos popping up on your screen right now. Just pick one and click. Thank you so much for sticking with us, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.